And we're back from the PT's podcast.
Do it. Bring us in, Vince.
Yeah, it's too late now. We're rolling with that, man. How about that? Vince LeCoco ready and rock and roll tonight.
Yeah, I got new stuff. I'm ready to go.
New stuff. The best produced show in the history of the podcast. We're not saying we have no idea where this show is going tonight. We might go off the rails, but at least it looks beautiful here with two incredibly handsome gentlemen to my left. That is producer Keith. Vince LeCoco rocking that wonderful Yankees gear, despite the fact that they can't beat the Reds. I'm sorry. Throwing baseball takes out early.
I wore this hat knowing I was going to get shit for it, and because I have two pimples on the side of my head. And I was like, hey, you know what? You just got to wear these on the chin. That's part of being a true fan. So
That's right. That's right.
Kudos to Keith and the Reds and Matt and the Reds, but you guys still suck.
There you go. Getting our baseball takes out early. I am Jacob Lane. We are from the Pink Seats podcast on the State of Louisville network. Go ahead and subscribe. State of Louisville podcast network. All the great content here on YouTube. You can do that right below the show. And we've got a great episode for you tonight. We got a lot to get into. Jelly Roll's drummer is here. We got, recruiting popping off left and right. I can't keep Brady Brohm from the notifications going off on my phone.
Oh, God.
Man, there we go. Can you do it one more time?
One more time? Hold on.
Just pause. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now up a little bit. Now down. Okay, sorry. That is not what you're going to get here on the State of Louisville
subscribe
Network,
for
I
that.
promise. Yeah, so maybe you do subscribe for that. Maybe you say, you know what?
Drop a super subscription for that bad boy.
Yeah, that's right. Pay a little bit extra for that. You should check out
$5.
Jelly Roll's Drummer's OnlyFans account. You can find much more of that. But no, we got a jam-packed episode. We're inching along through summer. It feels like we're in the thick of the dog days right now as we anticipate the new season and everything that comes with that. But there is, of course, recruiting news to talk about. We're going to introduce a couple of new segments tonight on the show as we start to look towards 2025 and the season that is ahead for the Cards, as well as a little bit of trivia tonight. I'm excited for this. Do a little bit of Cardinal recall. We'll get into that and what that means later. Yeah, we're going to challenge Keith and Vince's ability to recall. For Vince, this is mostly his teammates, so we'll get into that later on in the show. But before we do so,
a guy that has possible severe CTE to recall.
That's
stuff.
right.
I think that's the whole punchline.
Yeah, I mean, your CTE is our continent. So we need to really test that out and flex that.
I'm just here for your laugh.
That's right. Exactly, man. I'm glad that you understand. But before we get into the show tonight, I do want to call out one thing. If you've got a youth kiddo that is playing sports, youth kiddo, those is kind of what do they call it? Two words that cancel each other out. I just said the same thing twice. But if you got a kiddo,
18.
Yes, if you got kiddos up to 18, the youths in your house, and they play football, and they're interested in refining their skills, there is a great opportunity to do so coming up on July 5th at the Lynn Family Sports Vision and Training Clinic on Edith Road, the Josh Minkens and Friends 2025 Skills and Drills Camp. It is back for another year as Josh is a member of the New England Patriots. His brother Jaden obviously had a great spring, but they're going to be out there hosting a free camp. We've been there a couple of times now. It is a great event for the kids. They get hands-on experience with the best of the best. A couple of years ago, Jack Plummer was out there. Evan Conley was out there. Jaden Thompson was out there. You had Kevin Coleman. I mean, the list goes on and on. Michael Gonzalez, Josh, of course, and shout out to Josh Sr. as well. They had a variety of people out there with hands-on experience, teaching the kids and getting some good reps out there.
Wasn't he?
Mario was out there, yeah. Yes. So we'll likely see some of our friends from a couple of years ago, but we will be out there as a show. We're going to get some great content. Excited to sit down with some of the folks that are out there. Hopefully Josh and as well as some of the others. But if you've got a kiddo, go ahead and check out Josh Minkens' Instagram. Let me pull the website out. That would have been really professional of me to go ahead and have that. It presented by Gorilla Home Loans. I want to make sure I shout out their sponsors as well. I don't have a website, but if you go out and check Josh Minkens' Instagram, Twitter, you find all the details there. You can sign up, and I believe they even have up until the day of. So be sure that you check that out. And when we're out there, if you're out there, you're going to be blessed with the sight of our good friend here, producer Keith, paying his punishment. And what you may be saying, what do you mean pay his punishment? What did he do? Did he commit a crime? He committed a crime of being wrong. And on our show, that is punishable by combine drills. And so Keith will we'll figure something out. I don't know how we're going to do this. We're going to have to probably bring our own equipment, but we'll
bring
get
our
Keith
own
out
bench
there.
press.
Bring our own, yeah, I got one in my mom's basement, so I might go pull that thing out. It's got cobwebs all over it, but
Oh my God.
yeah, Keith's going to be out there doing his punishment, but it'll be a great time. Check that out. So anyways, without further ado, let's jump into the show, guys. Keith, your time to shine. Recruiting on fire right now for Louisville football up until the last couple of hours. The commitments have been going crazy. Let's just stick to start, Keith, with the guys that have committed over the last week and a half. We had a show planned. A show happened a couple nights ago, but good old technology got the best of your boys here. So we are back kind of recapping some of that. I was not there, Keith. So let's dive into the thick of things here on the recruiting side. What do we got for Louisville and what are they up to right now?
Yeah, so on the recruiting trail, looks like we're sort of hitting the home stretch of the 2026 class. We got our eyes on about probably 5 or 6 more kids for the class of 2026 that we are looking at potentially bringing into the fold. And we landed one late last week, early this week. All the days are starting to bleed together at this point. DJ Williams. And this was a kid who was pretty hotly contested. It ended up coming down to like us and Ole Miss as sort of the final 2 schools that were going to bat for this kid. He chooses the cards. Very wise decision if I say so myself.
I think so. Definitely for the academics, for sure. That's number one. That's what we know for sure.
And for the highlight tape enthusiasts who like to go out and make like the quick, like little 30-second edits, I feel like this is a kid that they could have a lot of fun with. This kid is shifty, especially at the high school ranks. Like a lot of the highlights and what his offense does, just like quick little bubble screens, get the ball out to him, get it in his hands, watch him make a dude or 2 or 3 miss, and then he proceeds to continue to shove the ball down your throat and advance it downfield. Because this kid's got skills with the ball in his hands. Vince, I know we talked to you a little bit about it as well. What'd you like on his tape?
All the same things that you did, Keith. I mean, I know we talked about the Colin Lacey or who was it from last year comparison. I can't remember. Go ahead. You had it off. Brooks, Corey Brooks. We talked about a
Tutu Atwell, I thought. It was like Tutu Atwell, Colin Lacey vibes.
Say Tutu. We definitely did not say Tutu. Otherwise, I would remember that for sure. But if you want to say Tutu, yes. But I like the way the kid runs downfield. He definitely makes people miss. So, I mean, good wide receiver. We'll have to see, obviously. I mean, I trust Dion on anything wide receivers at this point. Hands down taking the best recruiting photos with the guys on official visits. So
yeah.
And the one thing that sort of excites me about the kid most is like, especially with the increased aggression and priority that we're putting on high school recruiting, you're looking to try and find some of these guys to get onto the field early. This is a kid who I think could find his way onto special teams as a kicker or punt returner very early with the strengths of his game. While, hey, maybe he has to still develop a little bit as a receiver, get the ball in his hands and at least let him make an impact as a freshman player.
I mean, we've talked about it hundreds of times on this show, just buying into special teams if he could find his way, not just as a returner. That's what they've done their entire careers. But if he could find his way on kickoff, punt, things like that to just really make an impact at the freshman level, that's a great way to travel as a wide receiver. And then you're just one injury away from getting put in the game.
Yeah. And this class, I mean, it runs deep at the wide receiver position. They've got 2 technical wide receivers at least listed by the recruiting sites, and then 2 athletes in DJ Williams and Marlon Harbin. I mean, I think the 4 guys that you see around this position or at this position are the guys that in 3 years, man, that Briggs Cherry is going to be throwing the football to. Like, I think you can really see the core and foundation of what the team 2 and 3 years is going to look like, assuming they stick around. You know, we'll obviously see NIL changes, it seems like, every week, but you know, those are pieces that are foundational pieces for Jeff Brohm and company. And I couldn't be more excited. And if you're Briggs Cherry, man, you got to be licking your chops with the type of speed, the type of guys that they're putting out there, you know, the physicality. This is exactly what you want your class to look like at wide receiver. And that's not even mentioning some of the other weapons at running back and other positions.
I mean, hell, if you're Deuce Adams, Mason Mims, Brady Allen, those guys, looking at your chops and looking at the weapons that you're going to get. Because, hey, you don't have to wait for that quarterback to come in and play. I can throw him the ball.
Yeah, I agree. But here's my take on this. And this is extremely premature. And we obviously got to wait and see what happens with Briggs Cherry. And, you know, obviously there's going to be teams, if he continues to glow up the way that he is at some of these camps, there's going to be teams with major bags beating down the door. But if Louisville retains him, signs him, brings him in, I'm not saying year one, but like year two, this is your guy, man. And it might even be year one. You throw him into a competition with Mason Mims and Deuce Adams, and you don't go the graduate route for once. I mean, this kid is special.
I don't expect us to go graduate route at all.
I'm with you,
this
Vince.
Football season. I mean, and that gets me to the DJ Williams point, Keith, as to why I don't really think he'll play much his freshman year unless it's on special teams, and that's because I feel like we'll put more of our money towards getting a bigger name wide receiver, maybe a bigger name tight end, or even just a bunch of really good offensive linemen. You never really know how stuff's going to shake out, obviously, at the end of the year with our own transfers out, who's going to blow up, go to the league, X, Y, and Z. But just not – knowing we're not going to have a quarterback competition next – or we're going to have a quarterback competition, but we're not going to be bringing in a transfer quarterback, and it's going to be between guys that are already on roster that have been in this offense for 3-4 years at this point is going to be really exciting.
Yeah, and that's what you want when you bring in quarterbacks, right? Like you want to get it to a point where it's just next guy up. You're not going out and having to bring in – don't get me wrong, they've nailed, the first two at least in terms of the winning, but we'll see what happens. Keith, speaking of quarterback, we got a familiar name. We'll just sound the alarms, and I won't be able to hear them because I'm so old. When you mention this name, I start to have hip pain and knee pain and need a cane, man. I mean, this is getting ridiculous.
Yeah, consider this the content warning for the next, we'll say, 5 minutes of the podcast. If you're someone who was in high school between the years of like 2006 to 2012-13, this is going to make you feel incredibly geriatric. Now that the warning's out of the way, earlier today, as of the day we're recording, Jack Sorgi, son of Indianapolis Colts quarterback Jim Sorgi, committing to University of Louisville. Like,
no idea.
You love seeing guys with NFL pedigree.
Hold on, what did you say? No idea who that is? Is that what you said?
No idea who Jim Sorgi is?
Yeah, I believe that.
Oh.
That's a very niche name. Like I feel like
Peyton Manning, like it's Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, right. Jim Sorgi was king of the clipboards and the kneel downs, man. That's what his role was, and getting paid for being a backup. That was what he did very well. Very well.
All right, well.
And
continue. I wanted to make you guys feel old too.
Yeah, no, I love that
because I know Keith had the hard cutoff line there of 2000. What would you say? 2012 was the high school cutoff.
2012-13.
Yeah, I was like, I was in 8th grade, 2012.
So his dad, 6-year NFL career, almost entirely as a backup, but I think he got regular game action his entire time in Indianapolis. I think it's a great thing that you see guys who have NFL careers and like have NFL pedigree in their family, encouraging children like, hey, if you want to go play for someone who's going to develop you as a quarterback, go play for Jeff Brohm. So that's something really exciting. Now,
I like these kids a lot more too. Like, not to poo-poo on Shadur or anything, but like a kid whose dad maybe isn't, first team All-American. Well, I don't know what he did in college, but like, you know what I mean? One of the best players of all time. I feel like
right.
There's
His dad's not prime time, right?
Yeah, there's a little bit more outside Phillip Rivers' kids. His kids are going to be fucking dogs.
All 9 of them. Yeah,
like a quarterback's kid. I feel like, look at Andrew Luck, man. Like it's just like, there's just. It's some brain. There's some brainwave that I won't be able to pass on to my kid being a fullback.
You got
see that wall? Go through it. That's what you're passing
right.
Exactly.
Stiffen your neck. Lead with the crown of your head.
Right.
You got me curious, so I had to go up and look at Jim's college stats at University of Wisconsin.
Oh, he sounds like he played at Wisconsin, man. That is a Wisconsin quarterback name if I've ever heard it.
In 2003, threw for 2,251 yards in a season for the Badgers. Now, this is 2003 Badgers when it was just prime time. We're just going to run the ball.
Yeah, that's like Ron Dane, Wisconsin, right? Like that's...
He had less than 250 passing attempts in a full-ass season.
Yeah, that's hey man, we need you to check the ball down, or we need you to hand the ball off on the first 2 downs, and on the 3rd down, we're throwing 5 yards. Got it? Nothing less, nothing more, man. Just nail it.
It's 3rd and 17. I guess we can do that forward pass trick.
Yeah. But
You'll never see this one coming. 4 verticals.
Now, so Vince, you're not really familiar with his dad's game, but he was your prototypical pocket passer.
Statue.
Mm-hmm. This ain't Jack.
There's
Jack can
something
scoot.
Right. His son watched his dad stand, and he said, "I got to run, man." Like,
you just can't be that quarterback anymore, guys. Like,
no.
You can't be a statue quarterback. You have to have some kind of mobility because every offensive coordinator is installing some form of a quarterback run in some shape or. Yeah, I mean, it's not the NFL, but in high school, college, there's going to be some form of a quarterback run.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't name maybe 5 quarterbacks in the last handful of years that have been prominent college quarterbacks that have been statues. Like, most of them nowadays at least can scoot a little bit, right? I can think of a couple, but it's great to have bloodlines, in the NFL. Somebody who's been there, done that, obviously knows how to coach them up, and is somebody that can be there to aid in the development. And you trust in Jeff Brohm and Brian Brohm with what they've done so far. Obviously it's still a lot to be seen with young quarterbacks, but you get started on a 27 class with a quarterback, and just like with Briggs Cherry, you build around them. You go out and you get the talented positions, and you sell your ability to have a dynamic quarterback. So, Keith, what else is going on around the world of recruiting quickly? I know they have a lot of guys that have visited, a lot of decisions coming up. Who are some just a couple of names to watch out for?
So last weekend, it'll probably be the weekend before last by the time this episode goes up. The weekend of, let me pull up the calendar just to get the dates right.
Yeah, come on, technology.
The weekend of June 20th through the 22nd. Louisville had a ton of visitors on campus, and all of them were Louisville commits with the exception of 3. And all 3 of these guys with commitment dates coming up over the next couple of weeks. So we'll just go in order of commitment dates. So the first one, Jamian Theodore, 3-star cornerback out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, plays at Baylor School. And for those of you who, hey, Baylor School, why does that sound familiar? It's, of course, where we got Briggs Cherry, and I'm not going to short sell him just because he also goes to Baylor School, so you got to show him some love too. When did he? Charlie Edgeworth. There we go. I had the visitors page instead of the commitments page, and I'm scrolling. Where's it at? Come on, Charlie. So Charlie Edgeworth and Briggs Cherry, both players at Baylor School. This is a guy who sort of jumped onto the scene sort of late, and now he's got a few offers. He's taken official visits to us, Tennessee, and Wisconsin. I think he's trying to get one in at Ole Miss this weekend, but I think they won't be able to make it before the dead period cuts off. But he's got a commitment date scheduled for July 1st. So we could be adding a potential cornerback to the fold if he wants to reunite with some high school teammates. Next up, July 5th. This is a kid that fans are going to get real excited about if we land him. Julius Miles, 6'6", tight end, listed tight end in some places, listed wide receiver in others. Our expectation is that he'll come in and be a tight end. Massive 3-star tight end out of Freeport, Florida. He's a kid who just, his frame makes him an instant mismatch. Unless you have like a 6'2" to 6'4" defensive player that has the athleticism to match up on him, you're going to have a bad time.
Sign me up for all the 6'6" tight ends. If there's any more of them on the board, we should get that, especially if they're listed as tight end / receiver, meaning that they're willing to play tight end, but are also like fundamentally sound enough to go out there and play wide receiver. That gets me excited.
All of them. Need them
and
all.
That's the thing. Like, he also isn't afraid to get his head in and actually block people, which is just, you'll love to see. He is committing July 5th. So fingers crossed we got some day after fireworks that aren't just, the neighbor who purchased too much and is overzealous and is lighting up your neighborhood for the next week.
Yeah, or producer Keith running his 40-yard dash. Either one, because that'll also be on July 5th. So
who are we talking about? Keith is
that's just going to be tremors.
Light freaking mortar bombs and put them outside your house and drive off and be like, "Did you hear that, Jacob?"
My 40-yard dash, my ass. Yeah, I got you.
So Julius Miles, he's down to 3 schools. Us, Florida State, Syracuse. So July 5th commitment date for him. And then
we can't beat out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
preach.
Oh my God.
Preach.
State and their
Come on with it.
Them and then Syracuse. Are you kidding me? You can't get beat out by a basketball school.
That's right. You don't want to go play for a program whose coach is going to get fired. No. That's Florida State. Go ahead.
Don't want to do that.
Speaking of basketball school, we're competing with another basketball school for the last one. And this is a kid who we've been pressing on for a while. Jaden McGregory, listed as an athlete, likely going to play safety if we land him. He could potentially fill into that star position as well. He's got 6'2", 200-plus pound frame. He is a 4-star athlete out of West Des Moines, Iowa. State champion in basketball this last season, by the way. So two-way, two-sport athlete.
Yeah, Pat.
Yeah.
Yes, Pat.
Hey, injury bug hits us like we did last season.
That's right.
Hit him up.
What I love about
I'm
going to get on a small tangent. What I love about Pat Kelsey is, like, if Mekhi Becton would have been on the football roster this past year, I feel like he actually would have maybe given him a call.
You got 5 to give, right, Mekhi?
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, Mekhi was a hooper back in the day in high school. And that's the thing is, like, I mean, if he just needed a body, throw somebody out there as like the 8th guy. There you go.
And the last one who we're going to mention, the third one who was a non-commit on this most recent visit, Jaden McGregory. He's a 4-star, listed as an athlete out of West Des Moines, Iowa. Jacob, you're going to get a kick out of this. Basketball player as well as football player, and won a state championship this most recent season. So kid can hoop.
You hear that, Pat? Get to work, man. A little collaboration never hurt anybody.
So two-way, 2-sport, 4-star athlete. If he does commit to Louisville, I assume we're going to use him as either a safety or possibly fill him into that star role. He's got the frame for it. He's like 6'2", 200+ pounds. The kid's a bona fide player. He's committing July 7th. He's down to 4 schools, and it sounds like it's sort of heating up between 2 specifically. We got the basketball schools, Kansas. We got Minnesota, and then Missouri and Louisville are the 2 that everyone seems to think are in the lead.
This is where I hop in and say we won't get beat up by great value Scott Satterfield.
There we go. Thank you. These are 3 schools you don't lose recruiting battles to.
Yep.
You don't. Let's go. All right, get it done.
July 7th is the Jaden McGregory scheduled commitment date. So fingers crossed, in a couple of weeks, we've got 3 new 2026 cards to add to the fold. Maybe more. There's a few more guys that we're looking at. We've talked about most of them on the show already. So
Keith, I'll ask you again, is your high school football heart full? Is it full? Or at least, like, does it feel good?
This is what I've wanted all along. Like, give me like a class of 20 some odd, like 3 4-star high schoolers.
And you heard from Coach. You heard from Coach last week. This is like we're supporting one of the bigger. We're putting out one of the bigger high school recruiting classes this year. I mean, and whenever we went. Jacob, we went to go see the Jeff Brohm Chalk Talk, which was kind of funny, where they talked about there were a lot of questions about NIL and stuff there, and Keith and I were trying to throw Coach some lifelines and questions and stuff out. But I mean, it was cool for him in between all this recruiting stuff to give people in the L Club just the time of day, like an hour of his time to hang out, and quite frankly, like. He looked a little tired, I thought, but I mean, he was like still upbeat for somebody that was, go ahead, all over the country.
I was going to say, he was putting the miles on the school play because, he was out in Omaha the day before he came back. Now, I assume he was doing other stuff and didn't just come back exclusively for this little Q&A thing.
I don't know.
Or who knows? Maybe he did come back just for that, in which case... that even more good on him. Yeah. Then he was right back out in Omaha the next day to watch the baseball team again. So I think he was putting up the airline miles.
You think there's ever days where he wakes up and he's like, Brady, I'm just not doing it. I don't want to go today.
See, that's how.
Oh, come on, Dad.
See, that's how I felt like with the L Club thing. I'm like, damn, like he's really, because I knew he was in Omaha. In my head, I was like going into it. I'm like, man, Coach is really not going to want to be here doing this. I've done 5 weeks of official visits. I haven't done the traveling to Omaha and all that stuff that he's done. So I can only imagine how tired he was after however many weeks of OVs, Omaha. And I was like, hey, no way. And he came in there with the juice and energy. I mean, it's just insane how much he loves Louisville.
Some could say he's motivated, right? Like, I mean,
hey, them cashing in on that on social media was fucking hilarious.
5 reasons why Jeff Brom's motivated for 2025. Number 1, he got a new Honda Accord. Number 2, Brady won't let him sleep. There's just not a time where Brady's not clanging pans for Jeff to wake up. Number 3, he's no longer the GM. He's got a GM, the big dog, right? A lifetime supply of chili Fritos. Like they're in there for him, and he's now gotten somebody that take years off of his life. Number 4, Jeff just wants to play football. And number 5, he's got Isaac Brown. There you go, right there. There's the list.
That was in my opinion, like when people asked him about NIL and stuff during the L Club, the meeting and everything. It's like we very much just have a ball coach that just wants to do ball. And I could not be happier that we have a football coach that just loves that shit.
He doesn't have time for your TikTok dances and for your, explaining your slang and, your Twitters and your, he doesn't have time for that, man. He's just out there ready to teach slant routes and comeback routes and, coverages to quarterbacks. That's what he dreams of every day. Like that's our coach. That's
when he
beautiful thing.
Dreaming those sweet little dreams on the plane going back and forth from Omaha. Which, you know who else putting up a lot of airline miles lately?
Who's that?
Yeah.
QB commit Briggs Cherry.
Mr.
So
Cherry.
he was out in California doing the Elite 11 camp. Then after that, hopped on a bird, came back to Louisville, and then he was back in Indianapolis a couple of days after that at another Rivals event camp. I think he's finally making his way back to Tennessee at this point. At least I hope for the poor kid. He needs some rest.
He better stay there. No more visit. No more, at least not anywhere that's not Louisville. No more visits.
Well, so just to talk, I think we're in a really good spot there because there were some rumblings over at the Elite 11 camp that maybe Ohio State had come sniffing and snooping and seeing like, hey, what's up? What's going on here? And then I think the day after Elite 11 camp, we see Ohio State got a commit from a different quarterback who was, I think, also in attendance at Elite 11. So I think we're in a really good place with Briggs right now, and fingers crossed we can stay there, especially after the performance he put on in California, because, man, we gushed about him a lot on social media. If you follow us on Twitter, you've probably seen all the things we were retweeting and all the commentary, because this kid went out there and balled. By On3 was graded 8th in overall performance out of 20 attendees. 24/7 awarded him the biggest arm award. On day 2, he went out and set a new high score in the Panini Accuracy Challenge, which I believe, I don't know if Mason Mims had the record at his regional for the Accuracy Challenge.
Panini, I think sandwiches.
Yeah, same. I really want
it's
like
terrible.
A
it's terrible
right
branding.
now,
It's terrible branding. Keep going, Keith.
I don't think sports cards. I literally.
You're a marketing guy, Jacob. You get it.
Yeah.
Keep going, Keith.
Go ahead, Keith. Yeah. Now, damn it.
Well, I was
going
gonna
to
say
sandwich.
Well, I was gonna say I think the coaching staff might have a type like, oh, you did good in the accuracy challenge. All right, because I know Mason Mims won the accuracy challenge at his Elite 11 regional last year in the off season, and then in the 7-on-7, I thought was the most impressive part. 20 for 24, 6 touchdowns, no interceptions on the final day, which was the most statistically impressive performance of all the participants.
I mean, that's incredible because being able to go there, understand the offense that they're installing during that time frame, I'm sure, you're getting a ton of gear. There's interviews.
There's a lot of other.
It's cool. Yeah, it's cool stuff.
A lot of
and
things.
for you to hone in on the playbook and the guys that you're throwing the ball to, you don't have any chemistry with them. You might have a little bit of chemistry from the camp circuits, but I mean, outside that, not much at all. I mean, what do you mean? No, there might be some.
These are California high school kids. Like these aren't like brought in receivers that participated. So unless Briggs has been doing camps in California regularly,
I thought they usually bring receivers in for the Elite 11, like top rated receivers as well for that. I could have
just from I think from like 4 of the like better California high school programs in the area.
But still, I mean, regardless, to not have much of any chemistry with it.
You're just slinging the football around. Right. Exactly. That just means that you're really good at what you do. And you can accommodate, move on the fly, assimilate to what's around you. That's a great trait to have. Also, let's talk about this. I begged my mom from when I was about 15 on to get tattoos. Like I wanted one so bad when I was 15. This dude is 17 years old, I presume, and he is tatted. Like I am here for this, man. Yeah, tatted up. got a badass name. Like the dude he is built to be like, he is the kind of guy you build in the My Player in college football. Like he's that, that kind of build. 6'4", just, it's incredible to see him, the success he's having. And like I said earlier, I think he's the guy. I love Deuce and I love Mason Mims. And I think that those guys are, going to have an opportunity, but this is the kid who I think is the future at quarterback for Louisville football.
Fingers crossed, maybe. Because this is class 2026 kid. Who knows?
Yeah.
We have this season. Deuce goes, balls out next year. Maybe Deuce is gone off to try and play on Sundays too.
Who knows? Look at us.
Who knows?
We don't want to wish away time, but
manifesting.
We're in a good spot at the quarterback position. So let's put a bow here on recruiting. If you are just tuned in for the first time, we get into plenty of that here on From the Pink Seats podcast. So subscribe right here, State of Louisville on YouTube. Check out the show anywhere that you get your podcast from.
Elite 11 Finals primarily focuses on quarterback. But the wide receivers and other skill positions do participate in regional camps and sometimes in the finals themselves. So regional camps could mean anything, Keith. Region.
Put it on the screen. We need a researcher right now to confirm whether or not this is what the truth is.
I could have swore somebody like Dez might have gone at some point to the Elite 11. So could be wrong on that.
So I don't know if it's
final word.
Well, I don't know if it was my internet connection or not, but Jacob's face is currently frozen on just the most displeased looking face that you trampled on the network plug that we were trying to put in. Right,
at least he waited until I finished the sentence and then got in quickly.
Oh no, I was reading. If I would have read faster, I would have cut you off. I wasn't even.
Clearly, Vince not being quick enough.
Just stomping all over it.
Yeah, man, we're working on the seamless transition. So we'll get there. It's still off season for us. But
you got to prove a point. You don't get to prove a point to Keith very often.
No, and I'm here for 100% waiting until the segment's over to just make sure you get the final word, and that's it. Because I'm going to move on as soon as you're finished with that. So that's a smart move by you. Let's move into the new segment on the show. I got sitting down this week planning the show and just started cooking a little bit. You guys know I love to cook up a segment. I'm very much a sports TV watcher, sports radio guy, and I'm always just enamored with some of the names that people come up with in the creativity, and I could never be that. That's not me. As much as I try, our segment names over the years, fun but not original in some regards. But tonight we bring out a new one, and boy, was I cooking on this one. Tonight we roll out a new segment called "Are You Convinced?" Give me a round of applause.
Where'd you get that one?
I dig it.
Where'd you get that one?
Perfect. Insert graphic here of the new branding for Are You Convinced? We'll see if that happens or not.
Like 10 seconds of B-roll of just Vince screaming about Jordan or LeBron.
Yeah, right. So I'm going to
I'm a LeBron guy. Keep going.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, yeah, exactly. We get 20 seconds. Start the clock. Are you convinced on LeBron should retire? Is that what? Okay. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw out 4 statements here, and we're just going to answer the question: are we convinced that this will or won't happen? So I'll throw this one out first. Are you convinced that U of L will win more than 8 games in 2025? Win records and win totals projected from the sports books have been out for a couple of months, but we've really not dug into too much of this to try to preserve the content and get as far as we can in the offseason before we dive into every detail of the head of the year. But
shout out to Keith, who has made that very seamless with the recruiting stuff.
That's right. Exactly. Right. That's Keith keeping us busy on the show, making sure we have plenty of topics. And then I come in, sprinkle a little segment on top. Vince proves his point, and we got a fire-ass podcast, and that's why you listen, right? But the line from FanDuel was set at Louisville at 8.5. I've been talking quite about this a lot recently, being on vacation with family and just folks starting to kind of turn the corner and get ready for football. So, Vince, are you convinced that U of L will win more than 8 games in 2025?
I'm definitely convinced. I have us going 9-0 into Clemson.
There you go. And that's a popular record selection I've seen from lists or from talking heads. 9-3 seems to be kind of where folks are landing. So I think that's a great prediction. And going into Clemson 9-0, man, you talk about an electric environment.
I think it could be like that, or a lot. Our schedule is really set up. Remember how Kentucky had that 10-win season? They went into Missouri and where they had, what were they, like 7-0, 6-0 to start out the season? I think we could have a year like that, except obviously with 9. Yeah. It's just I think we're a lot better than the other teams in the ACC. I'll keep that for keep other comments for later episodes. Keith, what do you think?
What do you got, Keith?
Well, I do personally have a ticket already stating the over, but just
boom
for the sake of having
I ran over my toe with my wheel. I'm sorry, Keith. Oh my God.
For the sake.
Oh,
I love
man.
that.
The first injury on the show. Vince is now officially doubtful to return.
I thought
I've been injured this whole time. I've been injured this whole time. Wait till I get to what are we talking about?
But for the sake of just a dissenting opinion, over 8 might be a tough reach because a lot of the ACC is really dedicating a lot of resources to getting better at football. And we didn't really get any of the cheap and easy cupcake teams of the ACC. We've got the 3 bye games to start the season. Yeah, sure. But Pitt, they've put in significant effort to get a lot better this offseason. Virginia spent a ton of money trying to get better this offseason. Then you have Miami, who's just got overwhelming loads of talent on that roster. Boston College took significant leaps and bounds with Bill O'Brien, especially once they got rid of Tommy Cutlets, who can't keep his mouth shut.
Somebody got to take his microphone away, man.
We're finally going to Lane Stadium. We know that place can be raucous. And if Virginia Tech does finally have a year where they're starting to put it together and get a little life back into that fan base, that could be a nightmare road game. And then, of course, California, they lost a lot, but they also brought in a lot. Like, they had a weird off season. I think that's that might be the most gettable ACC game we have. Not scared of Cal football, but hey,
last year's West
Stanford
Coast,
either.
Yeah, I was gonna say last year's West Coast game wasn't so good, man. So
and then Clemson, SMU, to wrap up the conference year, and then Kentucky to put a bow on the season. Like, when it comes to the ACC teams, like, Cal is the worst one we're playing. That's not a bad schedule. Those are all good teams.
Yeah.
So this very well could shape up to be similar to, what was it, 22 or 23, where we played like 11 games against teams that ended up being bowl eligible. Like, this could be more of a gauntlet than people expect.
It could, and I totally think that there is, the sake of conversation around the Pittsburghs and the Virginias, and especially the Miamis.
See, I think they're going to want Pitt back, especially this one.
Yeah,
big time.
Well,
like being from 2 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, it's amazing though seeing what a starting O-lineman blowing their knee in pregame warmups does to you, and we're right back at that dump again.
And personally,
don't play Renegade.
Playing college football before, I would love to play at Virginia Tech. You know what I mean? That's not. I don't think that's one of those places where you get like the heebie-jeebies. It's more like, damn, this is going to be sick.
Maybe you get overamped. You're too emotional, right? You're Chris Bell 2023 against Kentucky. You're just ready to fight out the gate because
I know they won't be like that at Miami, bro, because that place is
be dead, right? And, Carson Beck, the most boring quarterback in college football, will be at the helm for Miami, which is why I don't trust them. That is a tough road game, though. Don't get me wrong. I mean, just to go down there. Why don't you trust him?
Because he cheated on Haley Cavender?
Right. I mean, he's giving allegedly. Right. Allegedly. Thank you. If I need to get the sign back
quarterback
out.
Play, which is
no, it's mostly his questionable decision making, leaving his car out and getting it stolen his first week in Miami. I mean, there's a number of ways that I could go with that, but I don't know. I'm convinced that they will win more than 8 games because I truly trust in the team overall, top to bottom. Like, I think. This is not the most talented team that they've had by any means under Jeff Brohm. I think last year's team takes the cake for that. But I think this team is deep. They have a really, really strong play in the trenches on both the offensive line and defensive line. They've got a smart quarterback. And at the end of the day, they've got an incredible running back. And I think a stable of running backs. And I think that will ultimately propel them to win more than 8. I think it'll be a challenge, though, to get past 9. But
also a pretty deep receiving room.
That's right. Pretty deep receiving room.
And again,
a lot of new guys that we really haven't talked a lot because they committed late in the spring versus in the fall when we were in the winter when we were really diving into the portal. So you're right, the Trayshawn Hurries and Dakari Collins of the the really make this wide receiving core a lot better than what it was.
Right now, guys, I'm cramping now. Like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Get some pickle juice, man. Get some bananas.
It's like right in the middle of my back.
This is a rough night for Vince.
All right, I'm good.
I do want to reiterate before we go to the next topic. I am convinced that we're gonna go over that total, but just let me do show. Come on.
Somebody's got to be
Yeah,
devil's advocate, play the middle here, Keith. I mean, right. I'm not sitting here arguing with you.
No,
go ahead.
We might be
now, let me tell you right here, Mr. Lococo.
We might be unanimous on this next one, but maybe not though. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe Contrarian Keith makes a return. Are you convinced that Isaac Brown will rush for over 1,000 yards in 2025? This topic comes up because just this past week, the great Phil Steele and the wondrous Bible that is the preseason Phil Steele magazine is out with a horrible misspelling, I must say.
Oh, man.
We really couldn't afford to get that one wrong, Phil. But he
saw the video of them in the locker room, right? Whenever they first yelled his name.
Amazing.
Yeah,
they at least put the "k" in front of it there.
Right.
So.
That's right. Yeah, but Isaac Brown, a Phil Steele All-American. So obviously one of the best running backs in the country. Yeah. You good? What was that?
Yeah,
I missed that
sorry.
part. Are you sure?
I was thinking Fast and Furious. Whenever
what are you gonna do about it? So are you convinced that Isaac Brown will rush for 1,000 yards? Yes. Easy answer on my part. I don't need to go any deeper. I'll let you guys do that. Vince, what do you think?
I'm convinced too. I've spent enough time bullshit talking, so no reason to bullshit around this one.
Keith, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, he only had 165 carries last year and ran for nearly 1,200 yards. So, if anything, I expect his carries total to go up.
The better question,
yardage total
are
probably
you guys convinced RB2 is over 5?
Yes. Yeah, I was going to say, will he get to 750? I think over 5. See,
I'm not convinced on 750. I think we're sitting right at the 5.6 number.
He's electric, man. He's 70, 80 yard runs. Like that's the.
Y'all sleeping on Keywan too. Keywan's still on roster as well. Like we have 3 guys
for sure.
That's football.
He's RB2.
That's why I'm sort of leaning maybe not 750 for Duke, just because Keywan I think is going to get some more touches than what he got last year. So
and you never know. Some of these games where you get Isaac out early. Assuming Louisville takes care of business, you're gonna get Wilder some carries, Keywan Brown carry the load. So I think it might be close on the statistics for Isaac Brown. Like we've seen great running backs not go over 1,000 yards because there's been multiple backs, but I think Isaac Brown absolutely will. Are you convinced that Miller Moss will be a top 5 quarterback in college football next season? This comes courtesy, I believe, Reese Fowler of ESPN rated his top 5 quarterbacks in the country heading into 2025, and to the surprise of probably a lot of people in the country not really paying attention to Louisville, Miller Moss, his 5th quarterback. On that list were a variety of other great quarterbacks whose names I don't have in front of me. If I had to guess, I actually don't even know if I could throw out 4 more, to be honest with you. I probably could if I really thought about it. Keith, do you remember who I was on this list? I should have done my homework here.
Not on that one specifically, but you know what? I'll go ahead, devil's advocate first. I don't think so, but I also don't think we will need him to be a successful team. Like you've got guys like Cade Klubnik, Garrett Gussmeyer, Drew Lear, Lenora Sellers, Kevin Jennings, and that's just off the top of my head. Arch Manning could be electric. DJ Lagway, I think he's a stud down in Florida. There are just a lot of really talented quarterbacks.
Yeah. Whoever Thomas Castellanos' backup is. Yeah, right. He's like the from the Chappelle show. It's like, who are the best 5 rappers of all time? Dylon. He's the same way. Thomas Castellanos. Thomas, that's him right
No,
there.
he goes by Tommy now.
Oh,
Tommy Castellanos.
Yeah, he's going to show
Tommy
up with those Mount Rushmore shirts like Alex Caruso with all his faces on it.
Yeah, right, exactly, which that was fantastic, by the way. I'm not convinced either on this, and I don't think it's because of anything to do with Miller Moss. I just don't think that that's going to be how the offense is built. I think that he'll have his moments. He'll certainly play a pivotal role in Louisville winning 9 games or more. If that's going to happen, he's going to have a big year. He's got a lot of weapons, but I think he doesn't have to be great for Louisville to win at a high level. If he is great, and if he is top 5, Louisville will be a playoff team next year. That is hands down. That will be there. I don't see a scenario in which he's a top 5 quarterback in the country and Louisville's not a top 15 team or 12
I'm going to play optimistic Vince here.
Let's do it.
And I'm going to say that he is going to be a top 5 quarterback based off efficiency alone. I think he'll definitely be the guy that they're sitting there. Oh, does he have the arm talent, the mobility? But man, is he efficient? He does not make mistakes with the football. And I think that's going to be something that could knock him into not the 1, 2, 3 range, but more the 4, 5 range. I think Arch Manning will blow up, like Keith said, have a really good year. Sellers, he's going to be sick this year. So I mean,
first of all,
I think he will be straight efficient.
Would you turn down $8 million from another SEC school, or would you stick with familiarity like he said that he wanted to do? Me personally, man, I'm like, you turned down $8 million? Like,
I mean, like, he might be getting paid well.
I'm sure he is.
South Carolina's fun. He's right there on the beach.
Yeah. What's
Man,
5
pay
days?
me a cool $500,000. I'll be straight.
Yeah, but I can also give you a cool $8 million, and you could
go play where though? Where am I playing? Michigan? That's not like
he said the SEC. So I mean, who knows? There's rumors that it could have been Kentucky. I don't know. It's not true. He's not shelling out 8K.
Well, they also $8 million to football.
It could have also been he has some good agencies and representatives who can look past beyond a big number.
Yeah.
Just to nerd out a little bit, Chris Hummer actually put out a pretty interesting piece on conference foe Florida State having some unorthodox and questionable
buyer's regret.
Sort of not buyer's regret, but like portions of their NIL agreement contracts. Like,
the guaranteed
ability to extend at same rates and a lack of protection from football related injuries with regards to your money. Like,
that's wild. That's wild.
CBA alert. Need a CBA union alert to sound the union bells.
That sounds like they're just trying to target guys.
College, I just thinking about my teammates.
Union. All right. So, any college kids, get a good agent. Make sure they read this shit.
That's right. Last one here. This one's kind of out of. Go ahead, Vince. Go ahead. Okay. I thought you were.
I'll do the agent thing for any of these college kids that need representation. 25%. That's all I need.
5% royalty if you make it.
Having a chain like this, it's actually real.
That's incredible. The last one here, kind of out of left field, but I was reading through the depth chart for Louisville football from Phil Still and saw an interesting name at the backup position for star behind Antonio Watts. So here's the question I'll ask you. Are you convinced that Caleb Matlau should be, not will be or can be, but should he be the backup at star to Antonio Watts? We talked about his potential a lot in the spring. Keith, what do you think?
That's a tricky one because you don't really know what they want from the star position. I'll just say no, because you have enough depth that has agility at linebacker. Like, you have a Caleb Perry that you brought in from Tennessee, who I think would be a perfect fit at star. You also have Trent Carter, who could potentially be behind Perry, has more time in the system, has the agility to not be a liability at that position. Still a young player, but kid can go out and thump. So I'll go no on this solely because we have veterans on the roster who could also fill that role.
What do you think, Vince?
I'm going to say I'm convinced. And I mean, just the talent level is there. Just let's see how much of the playbook, you can grasp. And there are plenty of guys that they like push from my time around that come in early and everything, and they push them heavy, especially if they're understanding the playbook and everything. They put them in a lot more situations to understand the playbook better. So I mean, I'll say I'm convinced. I'm not really sure either, though. I'm definitely in the middle on this.
Yeah,
I'm convinced.
I think it's it's an interesting proposition because he's a true freshman. The talent is clearly there. I'm not convinced that he will be or should be, just because there are other pieces that are vets that can slide in there. D'Angelo Hutchinson's a guy that you can put down if Corey Gordon and JoJo Evans play the way that you expect him to. Blake Ruffin, D'Angelo Hutchinson, you can slide the safety. You can play a middle linebacker. So there's a lot of options, but I do think it's an interesting proposition.
To hop in, I think that they could, in the day and age of NIL, they might have to slide this kid over as the backup, you know what I mean? And throw him in more of those situations and say, oh, we can live with not giving X, Y, and Z more reps because he's been here for longer. He's had an injury or something like that. Sure. So it's I don't know, man. That's an interesting question. I like that one.
Yeah, but to your point, at the same time, with NIL or with older guys maybe that are making more money, or like a Caleb Perry. If Matt Lau is better, you put him out there. Those are one of the things you have to balance as a head coach, is some of that. But to your point, player retention is going to be such a big deal.
For sure.
And I'm sure for these guys, they want to make sure that they don't show too much, but who may not play a lot, but they also want to make sure they feel the love and get the snaps to feel like they're going to be able to come back, and make have a role. So, all right, week 1 of Are You Convinced in the books. And we will move into our final segment here. We've got some bonus content as well for the show, but the final segment, as we like to do each episode, what are you talking about? What is capturing your attention? either in the sports world or outside of it. Vince, I have been just desperately waiting to be to talk with you, because I thought everything in me tonight, just the pride that you have being Italian, that you would be all in on this Italio disco trend with the guys. I thought you'd show up with your cigarette, with your funky
Those guys
glasses.
are sick. Those guys are sick, but I saw somewhere that they might be AI.
See, that's not how the debate is. Are they real people, or is this just
know.
the first
That's
of
the world
many?
we live in now, though.
Well, like, I don't know if y'all saw this, but Timbaland was a huge producer when we were kids growing up, like was all over the place. He just signed the first AI artist. Very weird, but that's a thing now, an AI artist.
I'm here for these Italianos if they're real, and I'm not here if they are AI. I am very much
very pro-Italian, very anti-AI.
Let me get that right. I'm very anti-AI Italian. Because like if you AI'd Tupac, that'd be sick. AI Tupac concert, sick. You wouldn't go see AI Kurt Cobain?
I wouldn't see. The only AI I would willingly go see is Allen Iverson. I am very anti-artificial intelligence. I don't want a T-1000 chasing me down. And also, we'll see how long OpenAI lasts, because the mouse's lawyers are getting on that ass. We'll see how long that goes.
But what am I talking about today? I'm not talking Italianos. I'm talking myself. I'm talking me. So I guess I am talking Italiano.
Yeah, you are in a roundabout way. You are,
obviously, today I have been cramped and I ran over my toe, but the real injury came from 2 days ago when I was getting out of the shower and I coughed and I fell to my knees, fell to the ground, actually.
Oh, God. Do you need to go to the doctor?
Like back pain, straight back, and like pulled muscle, something. No idea what. Haven't been right since.
And you have the audacity to call Jacob and I old.
Bro,
you have an excuse.
I coughed and it brought me to the ground. I was like, I like movie scene, picture Jordan Belfort on Too Many Quaaludes trying to pull himself upstairs. That's what I looked like trying to get off my bathroom floor the other day at 7 a.m. trying not to wake Emmy up. Bro, it was miserable. And I'm sitting in this chair miserable right now because my back hurts. So I'm doing this for the listeners. I'm doing this for you guys. Because
you are fighting through it, man. Like I said, you give your all for the Ville every day. But there are so many things that happen to me throughout the course of 24 hours that remind me I'm aging and that my body is starting to fail me, from the crackling of my ankles to the fact that I might just stretch like right here and just get a good stretch and catch a cramp in the back of my.
That's what I just did. Like, that's literally what I just did.
So I'm with you. Like, it's just like sometimes I'll yawn and get a cramp in my jaw. Like, and then I'm like, and I feel like I'm going to throw up. Like, like
I can't cough. I can barely laugh. I'm like, what the fuck?
Vince is aging. Keith, what do you got? I think we're going to sound like the three oldest grumps with our, what are you talking about this
man,
week?
I was going to make a joke about the last time I got a jaw cramp, but I don't think that's suitable for podcast air. So that said, I got to be serious for a moment. So give me a second. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to take this off so you know I'm serious.
He broke the chain. He broke the chain.
All right.
Jelly Roll, get your drummer, man.
We've got to have a serious conversation about people who prefer summer of the two extreme seasons. Now, we all agree, spring and fall, by far the two best. You can disagree on whatever order. We're a football podcast. I think we're unanimous. Fall is superior.
Yeah. Well, Jacob flip-flops. So
for you summer people out there, what is wrong with you? We are recording this at nearly 10 p.m. It is 80 degrees with 80% humidity. Mark Ennis put out a hilarious tweet that does accurately describe the humidity of outdoors when you step outside. But I'm not going to repeat it. But I don't understand what is wrong with these type of summertime people. You like walking out and feeling like you're inside of an oven at all times. Oh, sweat's just your body's natural way of saying you're alive. Yeah, I don't mind sweating when I'm trying to sweat. Like if I'm going outside to like do manual labor or work out or something, yes, sweating is fine. That said, I don't want to have a 30-foot walk from my front door to my vehicle and be drenched in testicular soup. That is ridiculous. Summertime people, you all are just wrong. You can put clothes on. You can't take skin off. Fix this.
Yeah.
Fix yourself.
I think
acknowledge winter is the superior season.
I think I'm with Keith now that I've grown up and I'm an adult now. When I was Liam and Ruby's age, I probably would have been like, summer's the best. No school.
Right. Exactly.
Blah, blah, blah. Hang out with my friend's pool. But now that like I'm an adult and I have a job and I have responsibilities.
And you have hair on your balls. Yeah.
I have hair on my balls. And I enjoy watching football games outside, and I don't want to leave early. The first 3 games this year are going to be miserably hot.
Miserable.
Could you imagine that just getting pushed back and everything being a little bit colder? I mean, that would be awesome. I'm kind of with Keith here.
Yeah. Summertime is for children or for people who had happy childhoods, and that wasn't me. So quit bragging.
the Gooch Gabagool is no good. I can't do it. It's too much for me.
The Fromunda cheese. You don't want that.
Yeah, it's a brutal time of year. I'm gonna keep this trend up of complaining. And
nice.
I want to first state how grateful I am that I have been blessed with the ability to work and to make an income and to be able to do things for my family. I know that is something that very much not everyone gets to experience. But guys, this past week I went to the beach and I went to Florida. And first of all, Florida's great. I loved it. It was awesome. Weather was hot, but it was wonderful. We talked about hot. You wake up and go outside and immediately your clothes are stuck to your body. But that's okay because I'm in Florida and I'll deal with that in Florida.
No sunburn.
That's right. No sunburn. But I have got to tell you that the beach, the ocean in particular, is the most overrated body of water.
Disagree. This is where I hop off the show.
No, the ocean, like this past week, if you've been watching the headlines, and the headlines are a polarizing thing for a reason. The number of shark bites, shark appearances, the number of things that are happening on beaches that shouldn't be happening on beaches. If the flag is red, what the fuck are we doing going to this place?
That is the best time to get in the water.
And
red
getting started
double red is
not being able to see into water. This is why I don't do lakes, rivers, ponds. If I can't see through it, I'm not getting in it. That is
preach.
That is
talk to him, Jacob.
In the ocean, every other step, it's shells, it's seaweed, it's a fish, it's a piece of trash. People are shitting in it. People are peeing in it. I peed in it. Like, it's just disgusting. And
the ocean,
oh my God.
All I could think about all week was how much I wanted a pool. And
I love the ocean. The ocetion is the best thing ever. My hair gets ocean water in it. I feel
You're literally swimming with corpses, Vince.
The beard. I
That's
don't care if Jimmy Hawk is right next to me. I don't give a shit.
Did you watch the Titan? Like
I'm not dumb enough to go. I'm not dumb enough to get in a freaking
There's levels to this. I get
aluminum can.
Things don't go well in the ocean. It's not the place for me. I will go and I will enjoy the sun. The beach by the water is fantastic, but don't ask me to go in past my waist. Like, I'm not trying to get sucked up by a riptide and die.
I have to rescue my children. That's the only thing is, like, I would not let my kids go out.
Oh man, Liam was getting
red or anything
destroyed
like
by the ocean in waves.
Dude, I love going. This past vacation we had, I was swimming in double reds with my buddy, and we were getting yelled at by the lifeguard. And I was like, "We can't." What'd you say? What'd you say? Can't hear you.
People like you, Louisville man, dies on beach, not listening. To lifeguard.
We had another time, spring break. I was on one of those canoes, is a kayak or whatever that they let you go out there in the water.
Boat?
No, I wasn't LeBron and Melo in them. I had the paddle.
You and Isaac and Max just talking.
No, it was me and my buddy. Yeah, right. That'd be funny. That thing would sink. But whatever. We had like one of those kayaks and like people were flagging us in. They're like, "You need to come in." Their eyes were like real big and shit. I'll never forget it. So we came in and they're like, there's a shark 100 yards away from you, like literally 100 yards, just swimming, waiting for y'all to like keep going a little bit further out.
You know where that doesn't happen? In the pool. It doesn't happen.
Exactly.
There. It doesn't happen there.
I don't do sandbars. I don't swim to sandbar.
See, I don't. The ocean, super overrated. But shout out to the Hudgens family, my wife's side of the family. We went out there, had a great time, got to hang out, got to take care of the kids, got to do plenty of things with the family. It was awesome. So,
are you an oyster guy? I mean, you're in Florida, bro. I love oysters.
I'm a seafood guy.
I'm an oyster guy. That's fair.
Shrimp, scallops. What else is kind of popular? Mahi. No
raw oysters for you though.
Nah, I will, but I dabble.
That's the first thing I'm getting when I get to Florida. That is like me before I buy beer. I'm getting like a dozen oysters.
Oh
easy.
man, see, the beer down there. The selection was just not great.
Oh, bro, you got to admit the beer tastes better at the ocean. The beer tastes.
It does taste. No, that's factual. It's just water in general, whether it's the bathtub or the ocean. Beer just tastes great by the water. So, all right, that'll do it for the show from the Pink Seats podcast. Jacob Lane, producer Keith, Vince LaCoco. Thank you all so much for tuning in the off season, taking time out of your busy schedule to hang with the fellas here. If you like what you're hearing, make sure you subscribe anywhere you get your podcast from, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio. We are just a click away. You can tell your smart device to listen to us. To say,
I got a new mic, guys.
Alexa,
so
I want to listen to producer Keith.
I got a new mic.
Yeah, and Keith got a new mic. Vince got a new mic. Look at that, man. We're really glowing up here. Check out the YouTube channel. Tons of great content from food to other podcasts, basketball, baseball. It's 502 Somewhere, the newest show. There's a lot of great content. We hope you'll stick around and follow along. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, go Cards. And if you're interested in more content, bonus content right on the other side.